Keeping it going from the first episode, the second episode of The Woman in the Wall figures out who it is, provides more info about the Magdalene laundries and how their history may be relevant to what's happening now, and shows Lorna digging around alongside Detective A and the cops. Lorna gets a missed ring on the dead lady's phone from a guy called Dara not long after she hides the body behind the wall of her living room and is jolted back into broken memories of her time working at the laundry. Recap. Lorna Brady didn't know who she was whose body she hid downstairs. A message from someone called Dara popped up on the woman's phone, which she grabbed it quick. After Lorna and the guy started talking, she learned that the woman's name was Aoife. Lorna didn't tell the guy she wasn't Aoife, and instead insisted they meet in person so she could tell all. Dara meant to text her when to meet in location, but her phone's dead and she didn't have a charger. Lorna hurried to the next door shop, where she ran into Sergeant Aiden and Detective A. They were there to look at the shop's cameras to find out who the fire starter was for setting Father Sheehan's cars burning. Lorna got nervous because she realized that she must have been caught on video, and that the police would quickly connect the dots between her and the crime. Lorna couldn't risk the cops getting suspicious of her since she had a dead body inside her home. When Lorna realized no one was watching, she accidentally spilled something on the monitor, broke it. Despite A and Aiden's inability to see the tape, they knew that the shopkeeper will soon have his stuff working again and would be happy to show them the whole thing. Lorna met Dara in a pub and learned that he was Aoife's husband, who had gone missing and was now looking for him. Dara's chat with Lorna that his wife was looking for a lady called Clemence was also pretty helpful. Clemence was the lady who had been taken from Lorna and was now staying in the Kilkenny religious place. Lorna thought that Aoife's letter to her could have been for Clemence instead of her. Aiden and his showed up to arrest Dara before Lorna could ask him any more questions. They had found security cam proof where Dara was seen driving Father Percy's car, making him the main guy in question in the looking into the killing. Lorna didn't tell Dara that his wife's body was hidden inside the walls of her home, but after talking to her for a while, Dara got the vibe that something was super off. Dara wouldn't have let Lorna go before finding out where his wife was if the cops hadn't shown up. Episode 2 of The Woman in the Wall gave us a look into what went down between Lorna and Clemence back when they were both stuck in the awful religious place and treated really badly. Women like Lorna, who were called judged ladies at these laundries, were often told they had messed up and that if they followed the rules, they might get to go home with their kids. Clemence and Lorna wanted to run away with their babies, but Lorna ratted them out to the head nun. The nuns and priests there often used fear to control people. A lot of the stuff the moms went through was just cruel stuff. The nuns must have been pretty good at scaring people, and Lorna probably chickened out at the last minute. Obviously, the promise of getting Lorna back with her kid was just a trick to find out more about what Clemence was up to. But once Lorna ratted out Clemence, she knew she messed up big time. Lorna got a medal for ratting out Clemence, but the authorities still kept her from ever seeing her daughter. Lorna ran into Clemence again, and this time she said she was really sorry for what went down. Clemence wasn't in a great headspace, but she told Lorna that she had met Aoife and that Lorna could trust her. Lorna looked hopeful as she invited Clemence to meet the next day. The episode ended with Clemence's brother David hearing a loud noise upstairs and finding his sister on the floor. We're worried that if something happens to Clemence, Lorna will never find out what Aoife wanted to tell her, but she didn't know about this yet. Detective A was trying to figure out why people like Sergeant Aiden were hiding stuff from him. He knew that every town has its own ways, but he noticed some weird stuff here. Aiden had warned him that talk about the church's bad treatment of these women would spread fast, but no one seemed willing to speak up. After the Dublin HQ confirmed who was driving Father Percy's car, A and Aiden went to the neighborhood bar looking for Dara O'Halloran. Dara told him that the woman next to him in the car was his wife, Aoife, and that she had nothing to do with Father Percy's passing. At first thinking Dara confessed to killing the father, A soon realized that Dara was lying to cover for his lady. Dara told A about Lorna, and A, without knowing her name, tried to describe what she looked like to the cops. A started digging around, and he figured that, since she had worked at the religious place, he needed to talk to someone who knew her. In the episode, A met Sister Eileen, who was the head nun when Aoife was there. Eileen told her that their place wasn't like he thought, and that some people were just trying to make them look bad. Aoife was a handful, Eileen said, and because she hadn't done what she needed to be a nun, she couldn't be one. Eileen was surprised by A's tough asks. Eileen claimed they were a charity group that looked after all the ladies whose families had sent them there. Since Eileen said that she and Father Percy were just there to help, it's no surprise that it couldn't get any useful info from her. At the end of the episode, I found security cam proof showing Lorna Brady walking towards Father Percy's home, and we think this made him believe she set his car on fire. After talking to his sister Eileen, Detective felt like he was falling apart inside. He felt stuck as he thought about the bad stuff the ladies at the home must have gone through. We felt that he was taking this to heart and wouldn't stop until he spilled the real tea and put the wrongdoers in jail.